Enterprise Stories is the weekly radio program that shares the experiences of successful Nigerian entrepreneurs and provides expert analysis of their success factors. Enterprise Stories, business stories of success.
Welcome to Enterprise Stories. In this episode, we will share the story of a young man with a passion for bringing business ideas to life and how he has been able to sustain the enterprise. But before we start, we'll take a quick message from our sponsors.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Good day, listeners. In the last episode, we tried to talk about the relevance of marketing communication tools to our businesses and how it can help build the brand equity of either our product or our service, or help to increase revenue or in effect sales. This episode, I will be looking more at these same 7 marketing communications tools and looking more at their characteristics. And in the latter part of this episode, I will be talking about the factors to consider in the choice of the marketing communication tool you need to employ in your business. Initially, also, I had mentioned in the last recording the difference between advertising and sales promotion, and I'll be kicking off again from there. Like I said, advertising, which is what most people are used to, which is mass media, which can be defined as communication to consumers from an identified paid source, is usually more pervasive in its effect, which means when you're advertising, you're talking to a large number of people who cannot easily be distinguished, which cannot be separated, which cannot be filtered through. It's more of a mass communication in effect. And what other impact do we have from advertising in terms of its characteristics? Is usually amplified. When I say the word amplified, it allows you to be able to demonstrate properly in visuals, in colors, in images, the kind of good and service in which you are offering. And of course, there's a lot of impersonality about advertising. When you advertise it on TV or on radio, it's impersonal. You're not engaging one direct person. It's more of like, just say I take a 30 seconds commercial, for example. Quite a number of people who stumble on the advert, who are watching maybe a soap and the advert comes up, come in contact with it. It's more impersonal. It's just a message from a target sponsor to quite a number of people. And this basically are the characteristics of advertising in its form. Of course, we'll be seeing what are the benefits and what are the relevance in subsequent episodes. What's the difference? But compared to sales promotion usually like I said, offers an incentive. And what it's trying to do, it's usually stronger at point of purchase, although it could be supported with advertising. But what sales promotion tries to do is that it tries to secure a deal. It gives you an incentive to buy. It is usually an invitation for you to treat now. Advertising could remind you to patronize something later, but sales promotion tells you it is limited. It is now. Buy it while offer lasts. Come. It's usually an invitation to treat, and it wants the consumer to deal immediately. Of course, usually serves to communicate the general attributes of the product, and it's the general platform in which consumers, manufacturers or offering businesses can also engage with their core target. What are public relations and publicity? This is usually very more subtle way of putting your goods and services in the eye of your core target. It's usually more credible than sales promotion and advertising, in which we've seen a lot of subjectivity, we've seen a lot of bias in terms of consumers, we've seen people doubt a lot of advertising campaigns. But when it comes to public relations and publicity, it's usually more credible, because here we're trying to catch buyers off guard because it's more subtle. We clearly see a lot of endorsements. It's usually at times not even from a specific sponsor. It could be an article written up in a magazine coming up subtly, and therefore we see that in terms of its impact, you find consumers react more favorably to publicity and public relations. Events and experiences. Tell me something and I'll forget. teach me, show it to me, and I might not remember, but engage me and I might remember for life. And that's why we've seen of recent a lot of organizations are beginning to invest heavily in events and experiences, because this is relevant, is involving, it's implicit, because it's a soft sell. You're not putting your product strongly in the eyes of the people, but you're working with events, you're working with sponsorships and campaigns to bring them into their natural habitat and therefore talk to them about your product and services. And I'll quickly just grab about the fact that there's direct marketing and interactive marketing now, which is strongly the online. We'll talk about that on subsequent episodes. What is the relevance of the blogs? How strong can I work on my Facebook, my social media, and my digital media, which is going strongly? Of course, personal selling is when most times you're selling very technical things. When you're having medical delegates detail maybe scientific products, you're having people talk about products that are very technical, you need to involve a lot of personal selling. It involves seminars. It involves direct interaction with specified set of your core target, which you have secluded, and then you can quickly interact with them and modify your message based on the feedback you're getting from your people based on interaction. And of course, word of mouth, which we always in marketing always say is the most credible, because most times it's not paid for, it's not sponsored. People who have experienced your product maybe after a particular program or an event are the ones telling other people around them about the experience they have about products and are testifying about how your product has delivered. It's usually not personal and it's usually very timely. And most times when you see people engage in personal selling, when it involves a need for more information after they've had an interaction and they're trying to find more information, personal selling comes into play and usually delivers a lot of results. In subsequent episodes, we'll talk about factors to consider in the choice of marketing communication tool to use, what to look at in engaging them, and how to mix them to get the desired effect in building brand equity for your goods and services and increasing your sales and your revenue. Thank you very much, listeners.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
We are now in the story of the day segment, and in the studio with us is Mr. Chibuike Aguene, the director of Startup Hub. Welcome, Chibuike, to Enterprise Stories.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell us, what is Startup Hub all about? What do you do at Startup Hub?
Okay, thank you. Startup Hub is a platform that provides acceleration to the growth process of startups through mentoring, business development, capacity building, and access to funds. So what we do at Startup Hub, we help young people with bright ideas to successfully jumpstart their ideas.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. What is the genesis of Startup Hub, and how did you come about the idea?
Okay, I've always been involved with youth activities, even from my school days, and my active engagement with young people throughout my school, and of course after school, even when I was working as an IT manager, and later when I set up my own IT firm, my interest has always been in the youth sector, because I've been able to interact with a lot of young people with bright ideas, and I noticed some of the limitations that they have, the knowledge of how to jumpstart their business. Some of them, the challenges they have is access to funds. Some of them is how to commercialize their ideas. So I discovered that there is, while we complain there are a lot of problems, there are also a lot of opportunities. So I set up Africa Youth Impact Initiative. Is an NGO that is focused on helping young people to see how they will be able to jumpstart their ideas. But at that point, it was just not for profit, though I've not really discovered how to effectively manage that idea that I had on how to help those young people. until I had the opportunity to go in for the social sector management program by Enterprise Development Center. That was when I actually discovered the best way to approach this idea, and that's when the idea Startup Hub came about. That beyond engaging young people, making them to know, to generate idea and all that, we need to have a sustainable platform that will help them to build those ideas and take it to the marketplace. So when the idea behind African Youth Impact came, it was about let's organize events, let's mobilize young people, let's encourage them to think creatively and all that. But after my social stress management program, I discovered that it's not just enough to make people to have interest in entrepreneurship. You need to go beyond that and see how to help them to actually take those ideas to the marketplace. So what Startup Hub does as an accelerator, we help young people with bright ideas to take their ideas to the marketplace.
Very good. This sounds like a social cause, and of course you must run it like a business. So what have you been doing, or how have you been able to sustain yourself with Startup Hub?
Okay, that's an interesting question, because it's like you're asking me the difference between African Youth Impact Initiative and Startup Hub. At the point that we set up African Youth Impact Initiative, it was all about passion. So at that point, I thought that running a social enterprise was just, once you have the passion, you set up, you start organizing events. But after the social sector management program that I did at Enterprise Development Center, I discovered that social enterprise is beyond just organizing an event. You need to run it as a sustainable enterprise. So that's why the structure changed and also the name changed. So now we're engaging different partners across the country to engage young people. Our focus now is the National Youth Service and undergraduate. We've been engaging NYSC with various partners at different levels. In fact, last year during the Global Entrepreneurship Week, we partnered with Stanbic IBTC Bank to organize a startup boot camp at NYSC Orientation Camp. And after that, we're also engaging NYSC now at the national level. We're already working out partnership with them to see how we can engage core members across the country to embrace entrepreneurship and also take their ideas to the marketplace. And we have also been in partnership with Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-African University. EDC has helped us in terms of developing our structure, a sustainable model for Startup Hub. And that's basically the level that we've gone in terms of sustainability. So at this point, we already have different partners, like I mentioned, that are already interested in our engagement with young people, and so far they've been helping us not just in terms of the programs, but also in terms of our own structure, to help us to develop our own structures also to be sustainable.
I love the way you speak with so much passion for developing young people and the ideas they have. What is the future for Startup Hub?
Well, the future for Startup Hub is like the future for Nigeria, because we see a lot of young people with bright ideas, a lot of them across the country that need to just a little thing. Some of them need as well as 50,000, some of them need 100,000, some of them is just to help them to redefine their ideas, to help them to commercialize it. So there are a lot of opportunities in the country. Of course, we know the reality on ground, that jobs are not enough. So the viable alternative is to actually help young people to become job creators rather than job seekers. And that's the position that Startup Hub have taken, to lead in that regard. So it's an accelerator, and as an accelerator, we're there to accelerate the growth process of startups, not just in Lagos but across the country. And with the new partnership engagement that we're already working out with National Youth Service Corps, we're going to engage corpers across the country. So every year, Startup Hub is going to produce entrepreneurs that in the next 5 or 10 years, we can look back and say this is how the story started. Because all across the world, you can look at what different accelerator or business incubator, as you may like to call them, what they are doing, how they are helping young people. So in Nigeria, for instance, we are positioning ourselves to help young people in Nigeria to be able to meet up and, of course, take their ideas to the marketplace.
Yes, I appreciate your deliberate effort at helping young people. And now that you have the opportunity to send a message to young people that are thinking of starting their own idea or business, what message would you be sending to them?
My message to them is that societal problems are opportunities for them to set up different enterprises across the country. Because it's true, the reality is we have problems here and there, but those problems are also opportunities. For entrepreneurs, problems are opportunities. Entrepreneurs look out for needs and wants in the society, and they use that as opportunity to set up different businesses. So my message to young people is to stop complaining and see what you can do within your circle of influence. How will you utilize the resources that you have available to you? How will you meet another person's need? Because the reality is every services needs improvement. Every problem needs solutions, and whoever is going to provide those solutions, people will definitely pay for it. So there's nothing that you say this thing is in a finite state, so this is perfect. Every solution that you have already in existence actually needs improvement. Every services that somebody is rendering needs improvement. So instead of just sitting down reading newspaper to see where there is job opportunity or all that, they can also look at the needs and wants within their circle of influence and see how they be able to meet those needs. Those are the things that entrepreneurs look out for. And I encourage every young people that is listening out there to actually look out for needs, look out for a dissatisfaction gap within your circle of influence, and see how you can meet those needs. That's how to discover opportunity.
Thank you very much, Chibuike, for sharing your story with us today. Listeners, you've heard it from Chibuike Aguene, the director of Startup Hub. We'll be right back after the short break.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Bayo, you've heard the story of Startup Hub. What's your take?
Thank you very much, Wale. I have listened carefully to Chibuike. I've listened to the concept of the Startup Hub, which I believe is a innovative one, very unique, and it is something that is clearly commendable. I think the company seeks to tap into the creative talent that exists in this country. The vast majority of Nigerians, they say, are below the ages of 35, which means that if we are able to tap into that viable market and harness the skills and the boundless talent that they have, then clearly Nigeria will progress as a nation. I guess one important thing that came out of Chibuike's presentation or his interview was this discussion around strategic partnerships. And this is a model that I recommend to every small business out there. It is very difficult in our environment today to seek to go it all alone. You need to identify strategic partners that can add value to your business and can help you achieve your business objectives on a much rapid pace. So you need to look at people who can support you in terms of your production activities, in terms of your marketing activities, in terms of technological support, supporting your businesses using technology, because ultimately what you are seeking to do is to be as efficient as possible as a producer of specific products or indeed services, because once you are efficient, then you are ultimately most likely going to be viable. So strategic partnerships is one thing that has come out of Chibuike's presentation, and I think it is also important as a business person for you to have a clearly defined point of view. Startup Hub has seen a gap in the Nigerian environment and has seen that we have bountiful talent that has not received the required support from the available institutions. So it is seeking to mentor, it is seeking to encourage, it is seeking to help build capacity and ultimately to connect these businesses with finance providers. Again, the lesson here is, as a business person, seek to innovate identify the opportunities that exist in your environment, which takes us back to this same question or this same matter of scanning and understanding and studying your environment to identify the significant opportunities that exist therein. I think ultimately also for entrepreneurs, it is about turning your individual weaknesses into strengths, and it is ultimately about turning the significant opportunities, the significant challenges that exist in Nigeria into opportunities. So Startup Hub, I want to recommend their model. I want to recommend their idea and the ideals they stand for. I want to recommend it to every business person, because what they are seeking to do is to meet a need, is to solve a problem, and ultimately to add value to somebody's existence. In this case, the large teeming population of the youths in Nigeria. So as a business person, if your business is able to meet one or all of these 3 points I have mentioned, then clearly you are well on your way to building a sustainable business. Another thing I would like to bring out from Chibuike's presentation is he started off as a social entrepreneur, and he struggled a little bit with raising the required financing to keep his passion going. So what that means is, for those of us involved in social enterprise, you also need, outside of your technical skills, outside of the passion you have for what it is you are doing, you need to develop appropriate business management, operational type skills, so that you are running an efficient entity which will be able to attract funding, which will be able to identify and get sponsorship from the various strategic partners that we see. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, it is about building something of value, but realizing that you need financial resources to keep your social enterprise going. That is for those who have social enterprise or businesses that are that way inclined. For the rest of us who have an out-and-out profit maximization of objective, it is really about identifying that need. It is really about solving that problem. It's really about understanding and identifying your distinct market and coming up with products and services that meet the needs of that market. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for your attention and look forward to speaking with you sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bayo, for your analysis. It is clear whether you're a social enterprise, a not-for-profit, or a for-profit business, you must have a sustainable model for your business to keep above waters. Thank you, listeners. We've come to the end of the program for this week, and until next week, stay blessed. Join the International Finance